Alright guys, welcome to Adam McKola TV. I'm Adam. This is the Stoke City vs Manchester United team news and reaction to Jose Mourinho's press conference. Hopefully last night you saw the live stream on my channel as we did a Stoke vs Manchester United preview with the guys of the United Road podcast, my new podcast with Bolton, Scribs and Filthy Fellas, and of course Margs as well. So go and check that out after this video. This video is a reaction to Jose Mourinho's press conference which took place today, and in that press conference Jose Mourinho confirmed that Manchester United had no injury worries ahead of this game. And for me, I hope that means Luke Shaw returns to the starting lineup because we've missed Luke Shaw so much, man. So much down that left-hand side. Against Liverpool at the weekend, I thought Martial didn't have much support from his left-back, Matteo Darmian. Now, Jose Mourinho did confirm after the game that he wanted Darmian to do a defensive role. And I totally understand that. But we're lacking something without him going forward. We're lacking something without Luke Shaw there. Now, I know defensively he's looked a little bit shaky. And I'm hoping the problems or the reason why he's been out of the team, partly fitness, partly match fitness, and I hope he's got that back now. But also partly tactical as well. You see what Mourinho did with Mkhitaryan, Anthony Martial. And I hope it's just a case of Luke Shaw having to get used to the way the new manager works. Obviously having to get through injuries and a lack of fitness as well isn't going to help playing in a manager's new regime. But I'm hoping now, and his agents come out and said it, look, Luke Shaw's happy at United. United are happy with him. Put to bed those rumours. And I hope Luke Shaw stays and fights for his space. And I hope Jose Mourinho gives him an opportunity again, because Luke Shaw, for me, when you look at Anthony Martial and you think, look, he can be one of the best forwards in the world one day. You look at Marcus Rashford, you look at Paul Pogba and you think he can be one of the best midfielders in the world today, if not the best midfielder in the world one day. And then you think, Luke Shaw, he can be the best left back in the world. Now, when he was on form before he broke his leg, he was the best left back in the league. The only reason Danny Rose is getting spoke about now, he's playing fantastically well. But the only reason he's getting spoke about is because Luke Shaw broke his leg. Because if he wasn't, Luke Shaw's ahead of him. He has that injury, lack of fitness, change of manager. I hope that mixture of things has just led to a setback in his development and he can get on with that progress, because fantastic player, and even after the broken leg he did show some good signs of form, and then recently under Mourinho he hasn't, so he needs to get back to it. But I hope Mourinho shows faith in him and starts him against Stoke. Talking about fullbacks, Jose Mourinho spoke about Antonio Valencia also in his press conference. And I remember in November, Jose said, when I was at Real Madrid, I wanted to sign Antonio Valencia and play him at right back. Now, Antonio Valencia wasn't playing at right back at that time, but Jose seemed to have thought he could have done that role. He did do that role under Louis van Gaal, did it fantastically well. But we still thought, look, this geezer's going to leave. He's not playing well enough. He's not good enough for Manchester United. I thought he'd be off in the summer. And all of a sudden, he's turned back into Antonio Valencia. Can't even speak properly. He's turned back into Antonio Valencia. The beast. Loving him at the moment. Now, he could probably do better with his crossing in terms of the accuracy. But overall, perfect as a right back. Gets forward good. Defends well. Job done. Now, of course, sometimes out of position. And I think that hasn't been as bad this season. I think, of course, when you're learning a new role, positioning is going to be something that comes later down the line with a bit of experience. And he seems to have got the knack of that now. Touch wood. Don't want to see a big error against Stoke. But Valencia's doing well. But one thing Jose said in his press conference was, he's the best right back in the game. The best right back in the game right now. Now, what do you lot think about that? I'm sure the likes of Philip Lahm, Kyle Walker would have a word or two to say about that. But I wouldn't be surprised to see him, probably the top 5, top 10 right backs in the world. There's a few decent ones out there, but there's not loads that spring to mind, is there? What do you guys think? Get it in your comments below. So with Jose Mourinho having confirmed no injuries, what would you do for the team against Stoke? Who would you play in that 11 against Stoke? Do you keep the same lineup that you played against Liverpool? Had a bad performance, but it was one of those days, and hopefully we'll bounce back from that. Or do you make a few changes? Get your comments in below about your 11s. This is mine. So I'd go with David De Gea in goal, Valencia, Rojo, Jones, and Luke Shaw at left back. Bring him back. Anthony Martial needs that help down the left-hand side. when Darmian just doesn't support him too much. Martial against Liverpool had 2 or 3 players around him at all times. You think if Luke Shaw getting beyond him, he takes 1 or 2 of them men off him, and then Martial's got more space, more freedom to do more damage. You know, it makes sense. Now, I was thinking, drop Carrick, play Mata. But then, Carrick only played 45 minutes against Liverpool. He'll still be relatively fresh. Stoke aren't going to play a high pressurised game. They're not going to play that, that gegenpress that Jurgen Klopp does and forces mistakes out of you. So Carrick will have more time on the ball in this game. And I'd start him. He's had a week's rest. He only played 45 minutes. He can play. So you start him. Carrick, Herrera, Pogba. Then I'd go with Mickey, Martial and Zlatan. So pretty much the same lineup that played against Liverpool, except Luke Shaw in for Matteo Darmian. So what about Stoke? They've enjoyed mixed form recently. They beat Sunderland away 3-1 with Arnautovic bagging a couple of goals. Before that, they lost against Wolves at home in the FA Cup. And before that, they beat Watford at home in the league. So mixed form for them, and it's been mixed form throughout the season. They've obviously changed their brand of football. They're not so Route 1 anymore. Mark Hughes, he's agreed a deal for Berahino to come in, but it looks like Bojan's going to go out. Whether those deals are done in time for this game, doesn't seem like that will happen. But Mark Hughes has got this team moving in the right direction. Of course, though, their form hasn't been great this season. Losing silly games, like that one against Wolves. But then winning games like against Sunderland and Watford. So very, very mixed so far this season. Who will be their biggest threats? So with Bojan wanting to move to Middlesbrough, it's likely he's not going to play. Arnautovic will, of course, cause a problem. Peter Crouch is looking for his 100th Premier League goal. Can you imagine if he does that against Manchester United? And of course, there's the likes of Mami Biram Diouf, who used to play for Manchester United. They've got a few handy players, but overall, Manchester United should be going there and doing a job. As I said, they don't play that defensive Route 1 football as they used to do in the past under Tony Pulis and stuff. So they're a little bit easier to break down. And I think we'll probably allow them to come out at us a little bit in the first half and try and hit them on the counter. And if we play with Mickey and Martial on the break, I think we'll have some luck against them. So what's my score prediction? I'm going to go with a 2-0 win for Manchester United. Paul Pogba scoring the first goal. I think Paul Pogba is going to enjoy a good performance this game. Obviously, after the Liverpool game, big disappointment for him and for Manchester United. But he's going to come into this game with a point to prove. He always has a point to prove, to be fair, playing for Manchester United. But even more so into this game. And I think he's going to deliver with a performance as well. And if that performance can get us 3 points, happy fucking days. Because we need to keep this run going. We need to make sure we get 3 points as well. With so many of our rivals playing each other over the coming weeks, it's important we get back to winning ways now. Start picking up points. I was so disappointed after that Liverpool game. That was definitely 2 points dropped. And it was a situation where if we win, the whole mentality of our season changes. We need to get back to that kind of position. Keep winning games again. Let's not let that Liverpool result have a negative effect on our season. If we can win that game against Stoke, then we look back and we think, that's Zlatan goal. You know what? It saved us a point. But it kept our unbeaten run going and it kept this momentum going. So let's win at Stoke and then we can say that. I'm going 2-0 though. I'm confident we will bounce back under Jose Mourinho. I don't feel the same Manchester United as before. You know, when a bad performance comes and then you think it's going to lead to 2, 3, 4 bad performances. I don't feel that anymore. I hope I'm right. What do you guys think? Get your comments in below. Your 11s, your score predictions. Is Tony V the best right back in the world? Does Luke Shaw come back in for you? Who are the biggest threats from Stoke? Will they cause us problems at the Britannia or the Bet365? Whatever the fuck it's called these days. Get your comments in below. Make sure you subscribe, like and share. I'm Adam McKola. I'm out of